Hello everybody, we've got a new dev vlog from the old school RuneScape team. This is the Grand Exchange tweaks. So, let's have a look at the Grand Exchange tweaks. Many players have pitched ideas for how the Grand Exchange could work differently in old school to how it is in RS3. Particularly popular ideas included placing it in Falador rather than Varrock, or making it available in all banks via the existing trading post scenery. They are currently running a survey to help decide what exactly they should be polling. This survey is to give them a better idea of what the community wants from the options they have, and will end on Thursday morning. This survey will be followed up with the Grand Exchange tweaks poll later on Thursday, which will ultimately decide what content arrives in game. So, the Grand Exchange tweaks. Let's have a look at location. The location of the Grand Exchange is something that has been discussed a lot in the past few weeks. Many players have differing opinions on where they would like the Grand Exchange to be. In response to this, they are going to be running a survey with a few options to choose from. These options are: the Grand Exchange should have a central building located in Falador, the Grand Exchange should be accessible in every bank using the existing trading post furniture, the Grand Exchange should have a central building in Northwest Varrock and also be accessible in every bank using the existing trading post furniture. The Grand Exchange should have a central building in Falador and also be accessible in every bank using the existing trading post furniture, and none of the above, meaning it will be in Northwest Varrock. The favourite option from this survey will be offered in the poll that opens on Thursday. It will need to reach 75% in that poll to be added to old school. If none of the options are supported, the Grand Exchange will remain as it was in 2007, with a central building in Northwest Varrock and no other access points. So if you want to see my video on the location survey, please click here. Next, grimy herbs. As it stands in old school, unidentified herbs are simply named herb, regardless of what type of herb they are. This creates a problem with the Grand Exchange. It will be not possible for players to distinguish between identified herbs when searching for items to purchase. Due to this, they are going to be offering a change to unidentified herbs, changing the name from herb to grimy and then the herb name. The herbs will still function in the exact same way, but it will be apparent what type of herb it is in every state. This would allow them to list the herbs on the Grand Exchange. So please note, if this option does not pass, they will not be able to list unidentified herbs on the Grand Exchange. Next, the jewelry decanting NPC. One feature of the Grand Exchange in RS3 is an NPC that decants jewelry. This NPC can, for example, turn a Ring of Dueling 3 and a Ring of Dueling 2 into a single Ring of Dueling 5. They'll be offering this NPC as an addition to the Grand Exchange. The potion decanting NPC. The Grand Exchange in RS3 also included an NPC that was able to decant your potions for free. They'll be offering a similar NPC in Old School. Now, Old School already has a potion decanting NPC, but the character is in Nardar and not somewhere centralized like Varrock or wherever the Grand Exchange will be. However, it'll be interesting to see where they put these NPCs if the Grand Exchange is in every bank. Next, as always, they need our feedback. Let them know exactly how we feel about the proposed changes. Our feedback is always vital when it comes to old school updates, so don't hold back. Now, I was someone that was against the Grand Exchange, and now it's passed, I can't really do much about that. What I can do is try and make sure, to the best of my ability, that the Grand Exchange is good. Now, I've got a video for the survey where I sort of talk about locations, things about like Falador obviously has a big history of trading, where it got pushed to Varrock when the Grand Exchange comes out, but now Varrock has a large history of trading. And also how I don't really like the idea of having the Grand Exchange everywhere. The idea of having the unidentified herbs changed back to grimy herbs is something that doesn't really appeal to me. Now, when they first released Old School RuneScape, the herbs were grimy, although they weren't officially grimy back in that era of 2007. So they did a poll asking if we wanted to change unidentified herbs to become grimy herbs. That failed, and it had 52% support, meaning that sure, there was a slight majority, but the reality is that's not even a close call. The type of polls which I'll call a close call and should probably be repolled is if it's something that's very popular and got about 70% plus support. Now, obviously you do come across this problem of not being able to trade the herbs on the Grand Exchange. Now, to me that's not really much of an issue. Most players aren't identifying herbs for XP, they only really do it for money, and the people that really want herb lore XP will be making potions. And they don't really want to spend their time identifying herbs in order to make the potions, they just want to make their potions quickly. So personally I think I'd support just unidentified herbs staying. However, it would be interesting if you could identify herbs and then it would turn grimy and then you'd have to clean them. That could be some kind of possible solution, However, it would be a bit strange having effectively two of the same item, having grimy herbs and unidentified herbs at the same time. Next, the jewelry and potion decanting NPCs. Now, I think having a jewelry decanting NPC is a really good idea. I believe there's a few jewelry things that can be decanted, such as the Amulet of the Damned, but the majority of jewelry cannot be decanted. It'd be really cool if they added a spell in order for players to decant their jewelry, and it's kind of nice to have an NPC that will do it. And like I mentioned before, there is a potion decanter in Old School in Nardar, but obviously that is quite far away from Falador or Varrock. However, if they do sort of have it everywhere in all the banks, where are they going to put these NPCs? I can imagine that becoming a bit of a problem for them. But either way, I think they're a nice idea. Now that's what I feel about the Old School Grand Exchange. Hopefully you have a good opinion. You can mention it on the forums or in my comments below if you want to tell me about it. And hopefully we'll get a nice Grand Exchange when it comes into the game. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the Old School RuneScape updates, dev vlogs and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.